welcome back to Luke-N-SHAE'S place. Hope everyone had a great week so far. Happy Friday to you. How you doing, Luke?
Doing well.
I'm glad. And we have a banger reaction video for everybody today. We got together and we're like, you know what? Let's do a banger reaction video Friday. But before we begin, I want to give 2 shout outs. One to the music you hear in the background. Thank you, Jay Gamble, for this awesome song for our podcast. We love it. And also a shout out to my brother. Happy birthday to my brother Theo. So I hope you're enjoying your beautiful day. So, and before we begin, can you tell them what they need to do, Luke?
Well, we need to like, subscribe, and share because they help us get into that. But as if you enjoy our content, by all means, share it. Put it out there. We love to, get the feedback. But don't stop there. Comment in our section with hearts or any type of emoji you want. But like I say, we're gonna start off with this nice banger video.
And you forgot the most important thing.
What's the most important thing?
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, you gotta subscribe.
Subscribe because that helps us grow our podcast and it gets other viewers to come join as well. So we're trying to get high numbers with our podcast and we're hoping that we can reach that soon. So
y'all definitely subscribe. We need all the subscribers. We need for you to subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification so you can get alerts when we're going live and we're posting content.
Like we're doing right now. We're going live.
It's 100% free. So let's get started.
So let's jump in this. Okay, we ready?
All right.
Queued it up.
Let's see what we got going here.
Let's go.
That's what's up. So, what was the reason for not living together prior to getting married? Cause you know a couple special couples that. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, the Bible. Definitely our parents was behind it. Like, there's no way. I guess like our background on what we was brought up to. Like, we didn't even think about doing that. Gotcha. Like the whole shacking thing was not in the picture at all.
Would you recommend that for couples now? Because I ain't gonna lie,
I was gonna say wasn't nothing wrong with it, bro. Even though I think our parents would have not minded if we stayed together because we had been together so long. Yeah. Even talks of having a baby, they would try to force upon us. Even with the baby, we wanted to wait till marriage.
Yeah. What is the point there?
That's what's up. So, what was the reason for not living together?
Point. So, what is your thoughts on that? Living together before marriage?
Well, biblically, it's incorrect if you're going by the Bible. But then I would say everything needs to align for it to be that. Meaning that if I'm with a virgin, okay. Well, then we can wait to marriage and do all those things. But today, because of our dating situation, because we're out here today with a different mindset and we're dealing with different things today, well, you might have to get to know the person. And you won't know a person until you live with a person. You don't know a person until you live with them. You can go over a person's house every day and still not know a person. So I still say, well, you need to get to know the person. The best way to know a person is to live with the person, and that way you will get a better feel for the person.
Okay, and I can understand that. I do believe that part. You don't really know someone until you're spending a lot of time with them, getting to know them, and I don't really think you have to live with them. The only thing about living with them that's going to be different is you're going to see how they live, right? So I can come over to his house and spend time with him. He can come over to my house and you can see how somebody lives by spending time with them. That doesn't mean at the end of the night or at the end of our day, you don't have to go your separate way and I don't go mine, but before the ring, my whole thing with that is, biblically. And I heard you say, okay, if she's a virgin, then you would
I want
be
everything.
Okay with that.
I want it all to line up. Meaning, if I'm going to do it the right way, everything has to line up. We would have to do it the complete right way, not part of the right way. See, people have always taken part of the right way and said, okay, we'll do that. You know what? Yeah, I got 3 kids, but now I want to be celibate until I get married. So that's part of the right way. That's not the whole thing. See, the whole thing had to be done. See, Adam and Eve couldn't take a little bite off the fruit and still get out of it. You had to do it had to be done the whole way. It couldn't be, okay, well, Adam and Eve said, wait, look, we didn't swallow it. Well, no, you ate the tree. So it had to work that way. So that's what I'm saying. The whole thing needs to be done.
Okay, so with that, just for me, I see there's so much wrong that can happen in that. And I do 100%.
What wrongs can happen?
No, I do believe that it should be done the right way from the beginning. It should be the right way, because let's face it, God put a certain way that we are to, man is supposed to leave his parents' house and cleave to his wife, go, and then you have your marriage bed, that whole thing. But when I think of it, when you're saying, okay, the woman has to be a virgin for this to happen, whatever. And I'm saying spending time with the person. If you're spending time with someone, you're going to get to know them. That means, okay, I feel like you could be at your house, I could be at my house, but I'm still spending time with you. I'm spending an adequate amount of time with you to where I'm getting to know. Because I feel like moving in before you get the ring, there's no urgency for someone to give you the ring. That's not to say, okay, you move in with me. Now you might drag your feet to even go to the next level.
Whoa.
And that can open up other doors for things, because this is my thing. If there's no hurry, there's no urgency. We're living together. We have a house together. We have bills together. We're doing everything that a married couple is supposed to do. And I'm assuming living together, they're going to be intimate. So what is the urgency for a man to then put a ring on it and wife her up if he's getting all the wifely things from her before the marriage?
See, that's because you're looking at it, once again, putting the man in a negative perspective of the whole thing. No, we're not saying that can't happen. What we're saying is, once again, we're taking a man and putting the man in a negative. If you got with the right man, see, it all has to play in to the whole thing. So that's what we're saying. So I'm not going to go in here and say every man can do it. I'm saying some men can do it. But the point here is this. You got, in today's time, you have to find out what a person is. You can go over the house. You gave me an analogy. You gave a thing once about your sister. You were telling me about one of your sisters ended up marrying a guy that was a drummer.
I said a family member.
A family member. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, okay, now, if that person would have lived with the person, then they would have saw the person whole. What we do when we go over people's house is give the representation. You meet the representation. So I can represent all the time because you're not here all the time. So I could be on my best performance for 2 or 3 hours with you, but it doesn't mean that's who I am.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
In that situation, let me just, since you brought up that family member, so even in that situation, so that family member and the man that she ended up marrying, right? They actually did it the right way. Both didn't have kids. Both wasn't married prior to. As far as being her first relationship or whatever the case might be, did it the right way. Okay. That's not saying doing it the right way is going to be 100. You don't know. The person could have other things going on, but did it the right way. Left her parents' house, moved in, got a place with the husband. That's when they first moved in together. Did it the right way. So, and her children are by him. No other children from someone else or whatever the case might be. But just wasn't, even though he was lined up with God and everything, just something fell off somewhere. But
that's what I'm saying.
I wasn't making a negative light to the men. I just wanted to touch on that too, because you said that a little earlier, that I said moving in together. What is the urgency for the man? That's not making it negative, because you're going to have men out here who's not going to be in a rush to wife her up if he's getting all that already.
Okay, what I was saying is, see, there's a different and typical kind of man. We're not saying that can't happen. What I'm saying is, I wouldn't put that out front. See, what I'm saying is the couple that we just looked at looked like they got married. So what I'm saying is, and he said they did it the right way. But he said we could have shacked up together and still done it because we have been together for so long. But see, if the intentions are the man wanted the woman, see, it equally yoked. We both want each other. No, we're not going to wait. We're not going to do. We might have lived together to save money for the marriage. Okay, let's go there and say, well, the couple got together and said, well, we're gonna put our monies together to get married, to even do it. Maybe we don't have a mother and father or someone to pay for it, so we might get together to put money together. That way, we can pay for our own wedding or however that go. But at the same time, what we always do is we put the man that's negative, the man that's gonna he gonna live with me and never get married to me. See, yes, that happened, but
it does happen.
But because you're not venting the people properly. A man will lock you down and say, "Oh, I'll give you an engagement ring and make you sit here and never marry you." And that's possibility. But that person wouldn't want you, and after so long, you wouldn't stay with the person. I'm gonna give the person maybe 2 years at best. If we're not going in a direction, then I need to get the heck up out of here.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't get into when I said negative, that's the negativity right there to say that a man would get you and play with you like that.
It does happen a lot.
And
happen. Even today, I saw a discussion the other night about men who said that. They said, especially now today when you have so much going on and the cost of living being what it is in our country. So I did hear a group of guys talking on a platform, and they said, sometimes they actually get in relationships with women. It's not the one that they want. Really don't have any feelings for her. But right now it was convenient because until the other woman becomes available. So what I'm saying is there's times where you might have somebody that takes you for a ride. You have finessers out here. You have people that want to use you, and you might have a house and they might look at it like, oh, wow, if I move in with her or if I move in with him, and now it's like a roommate situation. It's not even that you want the person, you love the person. It's you're moving in just because, okay, I can split the bills here. And that's what you have, an arrangement. It turns into an arrangement.
There's two parties in that relationship. There's two people there. So with that being said, one has to put a foot down. One has to say, well, if I'm a woman in a relationship with a man, and I'm just going to put the man on the other side. If I'm in a relationship with a man, and the man is not married me within the next year and a half, well, we need to dissolve this and go our own separate ways. I wouldn't sit with no man, 10, 11, 9 years, and the man ain't married to you.
See, that's the thing. And you don't think that someone will do that just because? I'm going to marry you just because. Okay, you're giving me a deadline. That's why I'm saying before we even move in together, the way I know you're being serious is that you put a ring on it. We're married. Now we're merging together as husband and wife. That's not okay. You're leaving your place and coming with me because you could still take me for a ride and say, oh, she's giving me a year and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to propose to me because you don't want to lose the sweet thing you got going on.
There's no real man is going to sit down with no woman for 2 and 11 years before they get married to that woman. See,
11 years. I'm just saying, even if it's 2 years, men should know within a certain amount of time
the point. But see, if that woman will sit there and allow that to happen, then that's on her.
That's why I said, while you're not in the house together and she has her own place, you have yours, spend time together. You're going to get to know that person by spending time with them. You don't necessarily have to live together to get to know someone.
Once again, it's where you are and what you want. The point here is, again, see, you're looking at the anecdotally and two different directions here and understanding that, okay, there's two different things happening here. I can have a woman that I want to marry and I just ain't ready. We just ain't got the funds. We might not have what's called. So, okay, that's two different things. Then there's a man or woman that will sit there, and I'm not saying because most of the time it is a man, where we will sit here and not marry. But see, I have to, if you the woman in that relationship and you allow that man to sit there with you for 6 or 7 years, then that's on you. Because see, at some point you need to start saying, I want to be married. And if I'm not, you're not going to marry, you're not going to waste my time. Because then that person is taking your best years and you ain't going to get those back.
I agree 100%.
I'm not going to sit here with
I agree 100%. I'm not going to sit there with him in my house or in his house and we're not married already.
Again.
And that should be a thing because, like I said, there's so many people out here. That times are hard for some people. You're going to have people getting married just because they need that whole roommate situation.
No, because
I've had it happen. Sometimes people need you for a season, and it's just
you're speaking from a place of hurt.
It's not hurt. I just seen it happen. Not even just with myself. I've seen people do. They don't even want the person that they're getting with, but it's just convenience. It's a relationship of convenience.
That's a place of hurt. What we're looking at is understanding that when I get in a relationship, okay, most men are not going to marry you just because. They're not going to marry you just because. You will find some people might try that, but the majority of men are not going to marry you just because. But that's not going to happen because, see, we look at this stuff as being, a lot of times, being final. So with that being said, that's what I'm saying to you. It's according to the man you get with. If you're getting with a brother and the brother is not serious about you, well, if you stay with him for 2 years and he's still ain't married, that's on you. Because, see, now I'm not giving an ultimatum. You're saying, well, in different houses together. And in today's time, I need to know the woman I'm getting with. I need to know her ins and outs, what she does. It ain't even for the sex.
And that's what I'm saying. You can't find that out by going to her house or her coming to yours and spend.
Again, when we meet people out here in the dating world, we meet the representative. We don't meet the real person. That's why I gave the story of the young man that you was a family member. We can go to church. We can go. I'm on my best behavior. This is what I do. You're not going to see the real me till you in behind closed doors and we away from the church people in the church setting and everybody else. And then you're going to get the real person. See, that's the same thing with a woman. You won't know a woman until you live with that woman.
So when I think about that and I think about how God put it, okay, because they call that shacking up, right? However you want to look at it, it's called shacking up. We've all heard it from especially old timers in our family. Okay. So with shacking up, you think about it when you're saying, hey, you got to get to know someone. Oh, you got to, and I get that you should. But when I think about years and I think about our older family members and how sometimes they had arranged marriages, right? Yeah. You might have the Smith's boy, meeting the Jacob's daughter, and it's like the families got together and she might have been sent to his house. We want to see if she can cook. We want to see what kind of wife she's going to be. And those two might not have even met yet. But then they came together and got married and hardly knew each other.
The most important part was she was a virgin.
She's
not coming to him with 3 babies.
And I just gave you a family member who was a virgin and then got into a relationship.
The point I'm making is you could do it the right way when everything is right. That's what I earlier said.
And I said that about the family member. Everything was right.
We're getting together for the first time. Okay, see, there is nothing to know about you. That's the point I'm making. There is nothing to know about you because, see, all your history whoever you slept, there is nobody. So at this point in time, okay, now me and you get in a relationship, it's going to be based off of what you and I do. Because now I can do that with you because you ain't got nobody else that I have to talk about. There's nothing to discuss with you other than our wedding date. But at the same time, so that's different. But today we get out here today and we dating women with 3 kids. We don't know what's going on. I have a friend right now dating a woman with 2 kids.
But see, it's not just women with kids, though. And I'm not saying that to say that, but sometimes you have into the reality of today, you're marrying somebody else's husband. The reality of today, you're marrying somebody else's wife. Sometimes people are getting together. They've already had a marriage prior to you. So you have a lot of that.
What you're not advocating to is the fact that, once again, men lose. You pick the wrong wife, you're going to pay alimony. You pick the wrong baby mama, you got to pay child support. There's nothing in it that a man doesn't have to pay for. So we have to be extra careful in who we decide to marry. So at this point in time, we got to do all our work. Well, if this person got a bunch of people that she used to talk to and hung around, see, we got a whole bunch of stuff. So 60% of men right now are raising children that's not theirs. We have to deal with the reality of all of this.
Yeah.
Nobody's good. Nobody's so good that we got to say we're going to give this person a pardon to.
And
because we don't know people until you get to see the people and know them. If I date you on an everyday basis, I'm gonna get to know who you want me to see, because when I come over, you're gonna prepare for yourself to be who you are. Now, it doesn't mean I'm gonna get to know the real you. I'm gonna get to know who you presented to me. That's what I'm saying. But when I live with you, see, you can't pretend to be that person. You can only pretend for so long. You only can act so long. After a while, some of your flaws and things are going to stop popping up.
Out.
And so then I will then know whether or not, if the flaws are too bad, if the good overweigh your bad, okay, we might work with that. But by the same token, that's the only way you get to know a person. See, we stepped out of God's plan. When you stepped out of God's plan and had sex or been intimate with someone else, you stepped out of the plan. So now let's live within what we have to do. We got to figure out what we got to do today. So I'm gonna look at you differently. I need to get to know you.
And that's not to say everybody's out here. Okay, for one, everybody out here is not just doing it the worldly way. There are still people out here. There's a younger generation, because we're looking at it from like our age group and all the dating that people in our age group is doing these days. You know, they're divorced people, or they've been in relationships before, but you still have people that are coming up. And I can say, even with the younger generation, I don't really see them having a lot of, you know, that going on. I think the shacking up stuff was more so with our generation. And did it work for us? I don't think so. Because I feel like you can be used that way. When you shack up with someone, they can use you.
It did work.
And they don't even want you, but they just married you for convenience.
Okay, how can a man use a woman in a relationship if they're shacking up? How can he use her?
There's plenty of ways he can use her.
How?
As far as finance, especially today, it may be convenient for him because he might be in a place by himself. She could have her own place. Okay, so if we merge together, I don't have to take this whole burden on myself. Let's face it, the cost of living and housing is really high. So you might have people getting married just for convenience. Okay, I don't have to pay all these bills. I could just go move with this person, and it'll be.
That is what marriage was for.
But
because he made you to help me.
I understand that, but when you're marrying somebody just for that, and you don't even like that person, see, my point is, you're marrying or you're getting with someone, you're shacking up with someone. My thing is, that's okay if that's who you want to be with, but you don't get with someone. And then you get all the things that comes with it, all the accolades, all the good, the cooking, the whole relationship. When you decide to put a ring on it, okay, but you don't do that and then still be looking for somebody else. That's the problem.
Man is seen as negative.
That's the problem. The woman could be doing that too. It's not just the man. You don't get in a relationship, start merging together, live with each other, and then start seeing other people in the process.
What you're talking about is all the
you're cheating.
No, you're talking about all the negativity.
Yes, because
what I'm talking about, if it was two healthy people wanting to get together, those things are not happening. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray and them. I'm talking about
it's not just
being
Pookie
in a relationship.
Ray Ray.
There it is. Because see, that's what you're bringing to the table. Because see, when you see this, you're going by things that you lived through. Or not done.
Just things it's out here. This really happened. It's not just,
but it's still,
I haven't even gone through some of the stuff that I'm talking about, but I have been used though.
We're not saying that again. What I'm saying to you is again, if I'm serious about the woman if I really want the woman and the woman really want me, we're not going to play that game. That's the point I'm making. Mm-hmm. You keep giving me people who are, well, if the man is this or the woman is this, you can use the person.
But you have to look at that when you're talking about living in the same house with someone.
Because you're not venting the person properly. That's the process of getting to know the person. That is a process of getting to know the person. I'm going to be with this person. When I meet the person, you know from the time that person is with you. See, now what happens is a lot of time women get locked into wanting the person. And if you want the person, and some men do it, where they want the person more than the person want them. Yeah, now you're going to get beat in that system, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about couples who really want to. The thing is saying, should you live with a person? I'm thinking that, and in that segment, in that sentence, we're talking about two people who are serious about getting together. Mm-hmm. I'm not thinking about nobody who, I'm just playing games, so we're going to get together and we'll live together. This ain't a child thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about two grown adults who got plans of actually doing more than just living together. The plan ain't just to live together. They're not going to sit there. But yeah, if I'm a man and I don't want to, and I feel like I'm going to hold you down until I find what I want, that's entirely different. But you as the woman should know if the person, after 3 or 4 years, okay, well, we ain't going in no direction.
3 or 4
then I
years
need to get
is
out.
way too long.
But that's the point. I would get out of that. I wouldn't sit there.
If I don't know you 3 or 4 years, if you don't know the person by then, you still haven't got the ring. That's what I'm saying. You're taking a chance. You're taking a chance with that because now they can drag their feet. There's no urgency, like I said, because they already have everything that comes with the marriage, except for the paper. So with that being said, there's no urgency. I feel like people move their feet a little bit more when you're not together, and it's like, okay, I'm still spending time with you. If I'm getting in my car and leaving at night, I don't have to necessarily be in the same bed to see everything that you have done during the day. We spend so much time together after work or whatever. I'm seeing how you live. You're coming over, seeing how I live. You can only put up so much. And if we get that much in a relationship, some people start to give the keys. Now I have rights to just come over. I don't have to call before I come. So if you are slipping somewhere, I'm be like, okay, his room really looks like this, or this is how he keeps his bathroom.
I remember a show called Martin, and Gina and Martin practically lived together, but they had their own apartments. See, but you still, in order to get to know the person, you have to almost live together. You cannot go over to.
And I'm not. Yeah, you can spend time together that way.
I have seen people date more than 3 people. Because see, they know when you coming over and they know when you leaving. You can date more. A woman can date way more than 3 people now. Because like I said, you going back and forth. You ain't staying there constantly. You don't know what the heck she doing when you leave.
This is crazy.
That's a reality. But that's how that works.
That's why I said the key. You got to have that trust to where your mate can come over whenever they want.
If you're living with that person and you're serious about that person's serious about you, you won't have a problem living together and get married. But if you're going to play these games and you got all these different games and you messing around with brothers and sisters that don't want to get married to you, well, I mean, that's up to you too. But I'm not going to sit here and base it off of this group of people when if I'm saying I want this woman and that woman want me and we both know we want each other, see, there will be no problem in them two getting married. That's just the problem. That's the thing. But if you playing a game and the person, you want to sit there and let a person take you on a ride for 4 or 5 years, you need to get played.
Who the heck would want somebody to? That's why I said that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I said there's no reason. I don't have to live with you to know that. But okay, I don't have to live with you. Everything you said, like Martin and Gina. Yes, I've done that in dating. Because you could spend nights, or if you're not.
You don't have to know because you are a woman. We are men. We are in charge of who we marry, so we have to know, and that's the difference right there. We have to know what's going on in that relationship. Well,
that was interesting. So yeah. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Well, yeah. So I don't know. Tell us how you feel about that. What do you guys think about that? Is being in a relationship, do you have to live with the person? Is it something that you can actually wait until you get the ring? It's a good discussion. I know, Luke, you have your good points. I tried to play some music while you, yeah, that's some good points. So I would like to know what other people think if you comment. And would you live with someone before marriage? Or do you think it's important to wait until you get the ring?
Yeah, like I said, it's according where you are. If you're serious about each other, I don't see a problem. But if you're not taking each other serious and it's not really real, well, you know what? Like I said, you got to set a time limit on it. You have to put a time stamp on that when you want to be married or where you want to see yourself at that point in time.
Well, Luke doesn't see a problem, but listen, everybody has and I'm just saying it for my own personal, and I'm not saying people would do this. But you can still spend a lot of time with someone to get to know who they are. And you shack up and you get into an apartment or you get into a house together. And then what if you guys don't? Now you got all this. Okay, now, all right. You go your separate way, I go mine. Now that sounds messy. But if you're coming together already married, you know that this is the person you want, that saves so much stress of, okay, now we're just breaking up and you're moving out. Oh, when's the lease up? Or even if you got a mortgage together, I just feel like sometimes you just need to spend time together. Living together, it's almost like you're living together. Like you mentioned, Martin and Gina. My thing is, I just wouldn't want anybody to get used, because that's a marriage of convenience, and people will throw a ring on your finger if you give them a deadline. Hey, it's not natural if I come into a relationship and say, hey, I got like a year and a half to figure this out, and if you don't wipe me up by then.
Ma'am,
so I feel like you're.
If a man put a ring on your finger and you stay with him 11 years, that's on you. Again, I have to set a time.
You keep saying 11 years. We're talking about
because people
no
2
years is too long.
Okay,
3 years.
That's the point. You can't get beat. You can't get used because you set a time limit. You don't go into nothing and say, well, I'm just going to sit here for another 30 years.
And I don't feel like I need to live in a house with him until we know that we're definitely for each other. I don't need to move in a house with you and be messy, because I feel like sometimes people will take advantage of that. Especially today, I hear people complain all the time. Oh, my rent is going up. Oh, my mortgage just went up.
Can a person take advantage of you if you set a time limit?
If I set a time limit, do you think that's going to be authentic? I'm telling a man, hey, you got 2 years to make a decision if I'm going to be your wife. You don't think that if he's getting cooked I'm cleaning the house and everything, he's not going to wipe me up just because it's convenient?
We don't know too many women that's cooking and doing all that. We know what we know today.
Well, we're not about that show. I know plenty of women that are cooking and cleaning. I don't know what kind of women you know.
They living with a man for how many years? And cooking and cleaning.
I'm not talking about people shacking up. Cooking and cleaning, yes. If you're living with someone.
We're talking about during that period, again, what I say is we live in a time where we got a whole bunch of kickback. If you were to say that, how many people do you know really out here today cooking and cleaning every day? We watch too many videos where people saying
you saying you watch these videos.
But that's the point.
I live in real life. Okay, so now I'm not saying the people in the videos not real life, but you got to come on. There's a lot of people in the videos you're talking about. Look, you're talking about a certain class of women. I know plenty. My whole family, all the women in my family cook and clean.
With a man and cooking and cleaning.
I didn't say anything about shacking.
Okay, so that's what we just said. We're talking only about the people who are shacking and doing that. You can't talk about people who are actually married doing it.
But I'm saying no, I'm talking about in relationships. The people I know actually dated. They were visiting each other. They weren't.
The point I'm making, they got married. Got married. We're not talking about them. We're talking about people who are getting ready to live together and deciding to live together. So again, if you're living with a man, and if I'm a woman, and I say, well, you know what? I got 2 years. I'm saying I got 2 years. If this thing ain't progressing in 2 years, then I'm out. I'm not going to say it no matter what you do. You keep making the woman the victim.
So what? I'm not making the woman a victim, because the man, I just said he could be used too. I said anybody get in a relationship before, they could be taken for a ride. I wasn't just talking. You always think I'm talking about the man.
Because
it could happen to the woman. The woman could be doing it too. She could be a finesser.
In most cases, it is the man. A woman finesses in a whole different way. That woman
I can tell you about finessing.
Again, but the point here is, like I said, you have to be serious about what you want. The video that we watched was about two people being serious about getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they got married, but he also said they could have went the route of shacking, but they still would have got married because they had been together so long. Meaning that he wanted her and she wanted him. See, that's something that when you get together, that's what you had to notice. The point of living together is to see how much that person wants you. That's the point of living together.
So what happens in this situation? Now, say you meet someone and you guys are head over heels for each other and you move in together. And then say after living together for 6 months or something and you realize, oh my goodness, we are just so different. I can't believe she does this. I can't believe he leaves the tallest seat. What if you just don't like each other after 6 months? Now, what are you guys going to break up? You're going to repeat that cycle every time you date someone. You're going to be moving in with someone every time. Because that sounds crazy to me.
It sounds crazy to you because you're a woman. You're not in charge.
I'm not in the business to be moving in with everybody unless you're my husband. Okay, I've done that before. I'll never do that again.
But that's the whole point. See, if I told you that every man, you should you should sleep with every man. That's what you're in charge of. You're in charge of sleeping with the man. You pick who you want to sleep with. That's like me telling you, well, you should sleep with every man before you ever do anything. That will be crazy to you.
That is crazy.
So when you say for us to get married, we need to know who we're marrying. So there is a criteria we got to go by. If this person is not a virgin, and in the most cases, we're going to marry women that might have 1 or 2 kids, or we're going to be, and that's if we're not playing it by the rule book and saying, some men be like, well, I don't want a woman with no kids. So I still need to get to know what type of person she is. I won't get to know what type of person she is unless I'm basically living with her. Now, I'm not saying you got to move in. Y'all can keep y'all same places. You can do like Gina and Martin. But the point here is, again, I would have to be with you utterly all the time.
A lot of time.
But that's
spending
not the
time
case.
back and forth between the houses. It's like sleepovers.
But what you advocated to was, okay, that's that dating. Well, I'm gonna come over and sit with you for a little while.
I didn't say for a little while. Now I said you get serious enough, and I've had a relationship. You got serious enough. Okay, there's a key on the table when I come over. Hey, now you can let yourself in whenever you want. You just said that some people are dating 3 people when they're dating that one person. Well, if you're giving keys, that's telling me I no longer have to call before I come. I know your schedule. And I'm not popping up to check on you, but if I'm going to surprise you, or now that I have the key, I might set up dinner when you get home from work. It might be my day off. Anything sneaky, I'm going to see that.
But
so
you just moved the table. They were talking about whether or not should you live together before marriage, meaning that's, again, 2 people who've already decided that they wanted to be together. See, what you're talking about is dating. If I'm dating you, I'm just not finding out about you. So no, I wouldn't suggest you live together with the person. But
that's what we're talking about, aren't we? Dating?
No,
because dating happens before you get engaged.
Should you live together before marriage?
So are you saying they've already been engaged?
I've already been knowing her. I've already been.
Are you engaged yet? Because the show is, do you live together? Would you live together before you get the ring? When we say before you get the ring, means he hasn't even proposed to me yet. That means we're dating.
But the couple that was on there was already set to do these things. So that's what I'm basing it off of. I'm basing it off of, if we decided to get married, we have decided to get married. That's the point. You're saying
so you're saying that these people were engaged and then they moved in. That changes the whole show.
They had already decided that that's the route.
Well, they did, but the conversation we're having is, and the title of our show is, should you move in before you get the ring? That means, we didn't even talk about, he hasn't even popped the question. He hasn't popped the question, because the way you're saying it, if he's popping the question, he should already know that he wants me.
Well, maybe that's the key.
The show is, should I be moving in with him before we even talked about marriage? Because you're saying, so that means we're dating. And I don't think we should be moving in while we're dating, because if it doesn't work out, now we're in a lease or we're in a mortgage, and now what? That's messy. Not only that, but that person could be taking you for a ride. Okay, I know she wants to get married. I have a certain amount of time. Now the finessing game comes on. And I know you're saying that, men don't usually do that. It happens.
No, men don't.
You're going to marry someone for convenience and then not even be in love and then be doing this, finding other people while you're in a relationship.
Now you're over talking me. Men do not go out here and marry just for the sake of marrying. Women do that. Men don't do that. Men don't have to. We ain't gonna get married to no person. That's forever. Most men are not trying to get married to a person because, see, you can divorce that man and take that man's stuff. That man is not gonna get married like that, because marriage is serious to that man. We losing this.
Okay.
We don't just. It's not a game. It's a game to you.
It's not a game to me. I see it happen.
You know what I'm saying? A man.
I see finessers. There's finessers out here. Do you know what a finesser is?
A finesser is a person who will finesse you into a relationship, but ain't no man finessing nobody into no marriage.
Okay.
You will lose in that.
Okay.
We seen this lady married 2 men in one of the videos, and it was a Kendra G show that we did a reaction to. She married 2 men. While she was divorcing the other man, she was pregnant with the new man's son, and she got half of their stuff. We can't play that game. So ain't no man going, I'm gonna marry you for the sake of marrying. No, they don't do that. That's a different, whatever you got that at, you got that. That's not happening on an everyday basis with no man, because a man tends to lose. He can't play with you in marriage. He's going to lose in that. That's why men are saying there's nothing in it for a man to marry you. Will a man hold you?
That's
at bay?
a whole nother
Yes,
show that you just brought up, because I have so much to comment on that. That's just fear tactics. That's just, like I said, when you say that statement and I hear men say that, that's fear tactics, and that's ways to keep families not together. That's another way, because the majority of people saying it are Black people. That's keeping the Black family apart. That's a whole nother topic from what we're talking about, because that's a whole nother discussion.
Family court is shaded to the woman. Let me put it like this. Like I said, you get in trouble, you can go to welfare as a woman. You're going to get housing as a woman. When a man get in trouble, he has no one. When a man get put out, there are no shelters. When a man get a woman pregnant and he don't pay that child support, he goes to jail. There's no welfare for him. There is nothing in it. Government-wise, family court is shaded to one side, the woman. That's reality. Until that's different, you're going to get that talk. That is the truth. So, you are one-sided.
So I have to be, because if I'm not one-sided, we'll still continue with the same cycle. You'll have people
that's reality. You're going to court today and you're going to lose.
But you're going
to, as a man, when a man you got married right now and had 2 kids, and you divorced me because you're not happy. Who got the kids?
So
who got the kids?
They usually
Who has the kids?
Usually they give them to the woman. Calm down, Cletus. Hold on. Calm down, Cletus. It's a conversation.
Let's say that without
you're talking from a place of hurt.
Ma'am, who gets the kids?
The woman gets the kids.
Okay.
Usually,
so who has to pay the alimony?
I'm right here, Luke. I'm sure they can hear you in the microphone. Okay.
No, because you say it's a fair tactic.
Because you're saying there's nothing in it for a man in marriage.
How
are we going to get married when you're pushing that narrative and you're a godly man saying that?
Again,
my God says that marriage, okay, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. Okay.
Who won in that? When that lady divorced them 2 men and she went and cheated on them, who got half of their
You're
stuff?
talking about a certain kind of woman on an internet. We're talking about real life.
Ma'am, who got half of the stuff?
I don't even know what you're talking about. You talking about the show we did? You're talking about the woman who divorced her 2 husbands? You're talking about one woman out here doing guys dirty. Man, that's not every Black woman. That's not every woman out here.
We're not saying every Black woman. We're saying you got the option to do that. Every woman that gets married has the option to do that.
Yes. And
you're putting your life in that woman's hands. So there's nothing in it. So if we get divorced, what do a man get if they get divorced?
So this is the thing.
What do a man get? If y'all get divorced, what do the man get?
But you're going in it already thinking divorce. You're the prenup guy.
What do the man get if they get a divorce for the woman says she's not happy and she leaves? What do the man get out of that?
I've seen men get stuff, especially when the woman.
No, don't tell me what you see. What do they get on a regular basis? Like a woman gonna get alimony, she gonna get the kids. She like right now. Was Sugar Shane Mosley? That woman took his heavyweight belt, his boxing champion belt.
This is sad. And this is why
that's reality.
I'm just saying
but these are realities.
Okay, but as a godly woman, as a godly man, this is not what we should be coming up with ways to put families together, not scaring them from marriage. When you say there's nothing in it for a man and he's got to pay check, you're already going into the mindset of a marriage is going to fail. You're that prenup guy. I need you to sign this because I have a feeling this ain't going to work out. That's not the way you go. And you go in it walking by faith, not by sight. That's a worldly mindset.
What I'm going to say to you is you will never understand a woman coming to you and saying a child is yours and you don't know. So there's things that you would never understand from a male perspective.
Every woman is not doing that.
Ma'am, please let me finish. I wasn't finished with the point. That's an example. I'm giving you an example of saying a woman can come to you and put a child on you. You will never understand or ever to relate to a man having to deal with these things. You will never understand as a man when having to pay alimony or child support. That will never happen to you.
Does every man have to deal with that?
So you can't, like I said, that's what we're working on.
Does every man have to deal with that, Luke? Because I never seen my father have to deal with that. And I've never seen a lot of my uncles and a lot of my family members, they haven't had to deal with that. When we're pushing fear, people won't get married.
The reality is a woman has that right to do that. That's what we're saying. And a woman is an emotional creature. So she can, whatever day she feel like, or however she feel that day. Most women say they're not happy in a relationship and there's a divorce. And ain't nothing that man can do about it. That's reality. That's not fear tactics. That's living in reality. Every day you get outside and get in your car, it's a possibility to have an accident. Every time you jump on a plane, it's a possibility that the plane won't make it to its destination. There's always a possibility.
But you know something?
But the point here is you're not going to live off of that. But the point here is you got to. See, that's what
my faith in God doesn't allow me to think like that. I can't go into something expecting it to fail.
Because you're not a man. You ain't have to pay nobody nothing yet. That's why your faith in God said that when I get in trouble, I got Section 8.
My faith in God has nothing to do with Section 8. It has to. God's going to see me through, and that's the mindset you should have as a man of God.
We're going to stop it right here.
Yeah,
that's totally ludicrous. Because see, if anybody ever been on welfare or Section 8, see,
and the majority of people on welfare, since we want to go there,
no.
The majority of people on welfare were white people, not even black families.
Man, we talking about if a man get in trouble with child support, there is nobody coming. You go to jail, period. There's nobody coming. There's no organization. There's no agency out here to help you. That's the real fear. Anytime a woman wants to do anything she wants to do, she can do it because the court system is set up to win, for her to win. If she chooses not to, all the praises, all the good go to you. But at the same time, you got the rights to do it. So every man needs to have an understanding that that person does have the right to do it. Because there isn't even DNA when you leave a hospital. You can get caught, and like I say, the woman can shoot the child on you, and you can prove with DNA the child not yours. You still got to pay for it. You still have to pay for the child. That's reality. I could be married to a woman and she can sleep with another man and she can have a baby. That baby goes in your name. You got to pay for it.
Luke,
that's reality. That's
and
not
I hear what you're saying, and I respect what you're saying. You're talking strongly about it, but I would also say, if that's the way we're going to look at it, I can actually say, hey, what's in it for a woman in marriage? You can be the greatest woman in your marriage and still be cheated on. So if we can go back and forth all day, but when you have a relationship with God and when you're lined up with God, you are trusting him. When you put him over your marriage, that's why you pick the right woman. You're equally yoked. You're not going to set yourself up for failure because you know God is in that relationship.
We understand God give us all free will to make our own decisions. And it's according to how you feel that particular day. You could be a Christian woman. It's according to how you feel. That's a reality. God does not take us and make us do what God wants us to do. That's a reality. Everybody on this planet got free will. You can believe in God, you can worship God, but you still got free will. And if the court system is shaded to where I can do whatever I want in it, if I choose to be ugly, I can be ugly. I can choose to be nice, I can be nice. But at the point, you're at the will and mercy of that woman at that point in time. And that's just the reality of it.
Okay. So again, and that's why I say you need to spend time together, get to know each other before you start jumping into a house together. That's my opinion. I feel like, get to know the person. Get to know the woman. That's before you start shacking up, you need to get to know them so that things like this, you won't be going into it thinking, hey, I want to marry you. Let me put a ring on it, but can you sign this prenup? You have to go into it knowing that this person is for you. I don't think that my parents and my aunts and uncles were thinking that when they put a ring on my aunties and back in the day, they weren't thinking that. See, people are going into a marriage with the mindset of it's dating. You're supposed to go into the mindset of forever. Till death do we part. People are not thinking like that when they talk like you.
85% of people cheat. That's all people.
And I know you can be cheated on and be doing the right thing. I can talk about that all day too.
No, because cheating, we ain't gonna go there because cheating is different.
That's a whole nother topic.
A man and a woman is two different things.
Okay,
but like I said,
going. All right, yeah,
we're gonna end this right here. We hope you guys enjoyed the show.
I hope you don't shack up.
Contact, please like, subscribe, and share. And join us again next time on the Luke-N-SHAE'S reaction.
Wear your smile. I didn't even say my saying. Can I say my saying?
Go ahead, say it.
Especially after all that. Your mental health is important. A positive mentality is a destined reality. Wear your smile. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us, and don't shack up.
God bless. Find out who you marry before you marry.
Get to know them. Spend time.